So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Coffee Talks. That's right, we're back again, our March edition. And this time round, we have some amazing youth, somewhere where we haven't been. And before I forget to say, I am Alka Patel, here based in London, a teacher and a heartfulness trainer. So please come along and introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be with you all today. Hello, Alka, Mamata, and Nataliya. I think we have a nice company on today's session. My name is Olga Konovalova. I'm from Moscow, Russia. My profession is a designer. Also, I have PhD in art science. And also, I'm a heartfulness trainer since 2016. Nataliya, now it's your turn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nataliya. I'm very glad to be with all of you today. I'm from Moscow, Russia, too. Nowadays, I work as data and business analyst, and I also practice heartfulness meditation. So, Mamata, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I'm so happy to be here with all three of you today. It's just such a nice way to start my Sunday. So thank you for having me be a part of this. My name is Mamata Venkat. I am a freelancer and I am also an editor and contributor for the Heartfulness Magazine. I'm based in the United States. And that's all I've got. I'm really happy to be here with everyone. You guys have a lot of joy that I can feel. So it's nice to be here.
So guys, I need to do this. I need to get it off my chest, right? I was talking to my colleagues. I went, yep, I'm dealing with the Russians and the Americans today. Sorry, had to get that in. Okay, guys, coffee. I hope you have your coffee. You just seen the title. Yes, this article was only written by our author here and editor, Mamata. So Coffee Talks is something we've been doing, and we take articles from the Heartfulness Magazine, and we'll talk more about the magazine soon. But if we could just have the next slide. Okay, and as you can see, we always like to introduce the article, Creating Balance, Finding Your Colours Amidst the Black and White. So relevant at the moment, Mamata, so relevant. It opens up about the challenge of finding self-compassion and self-acceptance in a world of judgment and criticism. And Mamata also offers 10 tips, which even I found extremely, really refreshing and so important. And she talks about her experience and how she's cultivating and, using this self-nurturing approach to life. So, Olga and Nataliya, you chose some particular parts of the article. Would you like to share on the next slide?
Yes. Our first quote, by not giving myself compassion, I limit my ability to create balance. And my world becomes even more colorless.
Mm.
Yes, and I want to share with you about some thoughts about this quote. And really, I think there is a deep meaning in this small sentence. I want to share with you some interesting research about self-compassion by Mark Leary. He is an American professor of psychology and neuroscience. And he said, and his colleagues said, that self-compassion is ability to treat yourself kindly when things go wrong, when you experience stress, or you have problems and hard times. And really, we often hear about how important to have high level of self-esteem. But this research has shown that people, even without high level of self-esteem, but with a high degree of self-compassion, they experience a hard situation even more positively. And I think it's really inspiring news for us. Yes, and these people accept responsibility for negative experience, but also overcome bad feelings. And these psychologists, and I think, and I am also think that the reason is probably because they treat themselves kindly. Kindly, yes, regardless of whether things are going well or badly.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very nice research, and it's very nice quote which we choose, and I think it's important for us, especially today, when we have a lot of stressful situations. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe someone else want to share some thoughts also about this.
Nataliya, yeah.
I think it's a wonderful quote because I have contemplated about this for so long time. I was so interested about it because I thought about the self-compassion. What is the meaning of self-compassion and how we are able to do this? And also I thought about term to create balance. Are we really creating balance, or we just try to return back to balance? So I think it's interesting topic to discuss, and I hope we will do this later. And I invite Mamata to share with us her opinion.
Nataliya, thank you for saying all of that. And Olga, thank you for sharing all that research. Thank you for taking the time to do all of that research. Both of you just shared a lot that really resonated. I was talking to one of my closest friends this morning, just maybe 20 minutes before we hopped on here to record. And we were talking about her getting accustomed to the idea of being inwardly happy. And she was really struggling with it. And she was really grappling with if she deserved to feel that joy. And I share this because just yesterday, I was talking to her, sharing my same feelings about myself. I was being very hard on myself, and I was describing a scenario to her where I was really limiting my value. And she did something similar this morning. And as you were both speaking and looking at the passage from the article that you chose, I always have the question of, why is it so easy for me to share compassion with the people I love, but to not be able to turn that inward? And I really want to understand what the root of that is, because then that can help to fix the problem. And I think in society sometimes we're not taught self-love. We are taught inadvertently to be critical of ourselves, to push to the highest of heights, to not stop until we get there. And I think especially for our generation, we are especially difficult on ourselves. And so part of the creation of this article was as a reminder to myself to stop being so hard on myself, because at the time of writing it, I was. And I'm so grateful that I have friends like my friend who I called yesterday, who I spoke to this morning, to be able to have a conversation with you guys too, because I think everyone in this heartfulness community feels like family. I'm so grateful to have a community that I can turn to when I am being hard on myself. But I know that at some point, I'm going to have to learn how to give myself that same compassion that I would give to others. And it's interesting to try to figure out both the roots of that and the ways that I can turn that inward.
I mean, Mamata, you know, I'm much, much older than all of you. But I can definitely say to all of you that even as we get older, we still go through these, I call these hurdles. But being compassionate and kind to yourself only comes when you sit and you reflect and you really understand what you are doing to yourself. And again, like you, Mamata, I had this discussion only today with my daughter about, do you understand how to self-reflect? Do you understand what all these words, these are all words. And you're absolutely right, Mamata. We weren't brought up to learn about this. I mean, I'm a teacher. We've got to teach children to be compassionate and they need to be kind to others. What about to themselves? You're absolutely right. This article is not just for the youth. I think it's for everybody. So I resonated something, Mamata, from this article, and it's on the next slide. Can we share? So, it's important that we recognize our responsibility to be a friend to ourselves as much as we would be to a friend to others. I think we've really touched this, haven't we, all of us? We've really resonated here. And if I had to share the little experience I have, it would be that when I meditate, and I know everyone goes, oh, but you're all meditators. No, but when I meditate, that's me being kind to myself. That's me go in and really understand yourself from within. So that's all I'm going to say about this. Would anybody like to say more? I'm just passing it on.
I can share some thoughts about it also. When I read this quote, I thought, what does it mean to be a friend to yourself? Really, I think it accept yourself, who you really are, with all things. Your not so good qualities and good qualities also, all things you accept you really are. Sometimes it's really difficult, yes, but is there someone else closer to you than yourself? Really not. And I think it's very wise to treat yourself like a best friend.
Absolutely. Nataliya, would you like to add anything?
Well, once again, I feel that this quote is very interesting because Mamata said that to be friend to ourselves, it's not only a kindness, it's also a responsibility. I think it's another level of understanding our attitude to ourselves. So I think it's deep quote to think about.
Mama, that's all on you.
Nataliya, I liked what you just said, which I had forgotten about. You underscored the concept of a responsibility. Both of you are working, Olga, you're a designer, Nataliya, you're a business analyst, and you understand responsibility from the work perspective. You know how to give to the work that you're doing, to the people that you're working with. And I think in that same way, we have to remember that we have a responsibility to ourselves. We should be committing to ourselves just as seriously as we would to a friend, a job, a relationship, because if that responsibility isn't taken care of first, nothing else is going to function well. And I'm a hypocrite for saying this because I know it's a lesson. I mean, I wrote it. It's a lesson that I know I need to learn and I still haven't learned yet. But I think underscoring that piece about it being a responsibility just reinforces to me that I don't get to neglect myself even when there are 100 things going on. And I don't get to be so hard on myself that it prevents me from going within and really internalizing that need for compassion and care that should be inward facing first. One of my favorite Chatterjee quotes ever is when he shared that caring for ourselves is like being on an airplane and needing to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first before we help someone else. Whenever a plane loses oxygen, the flight attendants always say on the overhead speaker to put the mask on yourself first before putting it on someone else. And I often think about that, even though I still struggle to practice it. If I'm not giving myself oxygen first, how on earth can I help someone else to breathe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I keep asking this question. Why are we not kind to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? And these are the questions I was asking my daughter. You know that if you do this, this will happen. These are all words, isn't it? It's that doing part. It's that doing part. And it's knowing and doing. All comes back down to that. Does it come with experience? Does it come with conversations that you're saying, Mamata? Let's get to the next slide. And I think, Nataliya, I remember you telling me you resonate so much, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this quote. All of us have our own unique journey to take on the path to self-compassion and inner security. As individual as our paths are, there is one thing all of us have in common. We all have the ability to create color in our lives. We just have to make the choice to do so. Yes, it resonates with me so much because I believe that it's our choice, it's our ability to create something evolutionary in our lives. And I think now we can discuss how to do this, what approaches can we use to achieve balance or to create color in our lives. Yeah.
I really resonate with this. Mamata, I have a question for you. You talk about colours. For me, colours, it's millions of different colours. But were you thinking of particular colours when you wrote this?
That's a really good question.
Sorry.
No, please don't apologize. That's a great question. My favorite color is yellow. And I know that when I'm in my best state, when I am being more self-compassionate, when I'm feeling more balanced, the world feels a little bit more yellow to me. It's like when you're in love or something good has happened and you've gotten an accomplishment, everything just seems brighter and better. And it's like the things that you love the most just seem to shine brighter. And I know that when I'm feeling really good about myself, everything feels like sunshine. There's nothing wrong with the colors of black or white, but that darkness is often associated with feeling a little bit dull on the inside or feeling gray. And so when I was thinking about going from a place of not having balance to creating that color, I was thinking about pulling yourself out of the metaphorical gray and being able to create the colors that you want to create. And that could mean turning the gray into a gray that you like. It could mean taking the black and white and making it a little bit more sharp and defined the way you need it to be. But for me, I always think about yellow because it just fills me up. So metaphorically and literally. Great
That's
question.
that's beautiful. Thank you, sunflower.
My favorite flower.
Yeah, I'm going to give you your flower names. I think Olga, I know you wanted to. There was something you were saying when I spoke to you about this, about colours.
About colors.
Mm.
For me, because I'm designer, for me it's very nice, Mamata, way to say about this topic. I think it's beautiful way to say about it, and about colors. Yes, I think. For example, my small daughter sometimes she can say that today it's orange day today. About I think it's about mood, and maybe for me it's something they say that today it's like blue day, something fresh, and it's blue sky today, because in Russia it's so long winter, and especially in Moscow very often we say that our days are gray. Our days are gray, but sometimes you just see blue sky, just maybe just small part of the sky and just several minutes, but your mood, you feel some freshness. Yes, and this day is blue. Yes, it's like that. And yes, for childhood, I think, like my daughter said, orange. I understand her very much because it's a lot of bright feelings, different emotions, and I understand why she say like that.
You know, that reminds me, Olga. Now here I go. So you mentioned Chariji, Mamata, and just for you guys out there, Chariji was the previous Heartfulness Global Trainer. Now, I can't remember which global trainer said, never worry about what the weather's like out there. Look at your weather condition, your internal condition, weather. So, Nataliya, colours.
Well, unfortunately, I'm operate with thoughts and logic, and that's why um, I can't say that in my life there are too much colors, but I am very fond of different artists, and I really like how they can create something beautiful using different colors, and I think it's a beauty of life when we can use different colors. Some of them we suppose as negative or bad colors, but when they are all together, it makes sense and it makes beauty of our life.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, Mamata in her article has 10 tips. So I had to go over it again, and I thought, right, I'm going to mention which my favourite one was. Okay, but before I do that, it's not about me, you see. First of all, we should ask you, Olga and Nataliya, what did you think of the tips? Is there anything you really resonated with, or do you have your own? You know, we could share.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I even don't use any particular tips. For me, it's the whole process, how I try to manage with difficult times when I feel that I have done mistake and I feel guilty or I feel disappointment. So for me, it's not enough to use, just some kind of tip. It's a whole process. So I start with emotional part. When if I feel that I'm overwhelmed with emotions, then I just need time to let them down. And I think it was one of the tips when Mamata said to us that it's good to spend time with your favorite things or hobby, something like that, to to refocus your attention to something nice and pleasant. Yeah, and I also use this to make my feelings, slow down, if I could say so. Then, when I'm ready to look at myself and in at situation, it's a time when I'm able to contemplate on myself. And it's a very interesting phase for me because I'm able to find, the truth behind the situation, why I was so upset, why I conceive this situation as a mistake. So it's a time for contemplation, and I think it also was one of the tips when we can use a journal to write down our experience. Third phase for me, it's a phase when I'm ready to make a resolution or set intention that I want change, I want transformation, I'm ready for this. I no longer feel that I have done something wrong, but I just understand that it's my evolutionary path, and I'm ready to change. And I think the last part of this process, when all of this come to action, when something really can change. So for me, it's a whole process.
I feel like you've done all the 10.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. But it's brilliant the way. No, but it's really nice the way you kind of. That was your personal sort of journey going through that whole. I call it the grieving process here in the UK. So there's 7 steps to grieving. It just felt like you were grieving. Grieving doesn't mean when somebody's just died. It's anything to do with your emotions, and it felt beautiful the way. And I was going, yeah, I do that. Yeah. Look, we're all nodding. I was lovely. So well done. I never thought of it like this. What about you, Olga? Because, by the way, everyone, Olga is pregnant, and I had to share that with you. Yes, I know, you can't see it. When are you due? Sorry, when are you due? We are having coffee, by the way. When are you expecting to have the baby?
At May.
Okay, so emotions. What are your emotions like?
My emotions. It will be my second time, but really it's absolutely something new again for me. It's absolutely different about my feelings and how I dream and etc. It's absolutely different. What I prefer, and it's something new. I even know what expect really again. Yes, and what about color palette? I usually don't also write points, yes, but in this article I see it like game. And to write some points for me, it was like also game. I thought, oh, what is my color palette now? Maybe in future, in the past it was different, but now, yes. And my first point about which I think it's to start my day as best I can. And I think for every person it's different, but now for me what is important, yes. And for example, it's get up earlier than my daughter. Wake up, yes, take a shower first, for example, is because sometimes it's a really problem for young mom, really, and to do it in relaxable way, yes, don't hurry and etc. Yes, take shower and then meditate also. For young mothers important, really important. At this point I opened for myself during all these 3 years with my daughter, that meditating during the morning, it's very important. And then make a coffee. Yes, and like that I start my day, and it is the best way. And I like my these mornings like this very much, because then it's just a good beginning. And then to be good will be, yes, and start our day, it's very important. Second point, which Alka, you want to ask?
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm really proud of you, because not many people that have had children can do that, what you're doing, of doing that whole getting up early, doing the meditation. Okay, so I'm so proud. I've just got to say, I remember those. I remember the days, but it's beautiful, because watch what happens next. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing. Carry on. Your second point.
Yes, and the second point, it's like, yes, really the second point. During the day, I observe my inner state and mood, and really I can do it if I previously I meditate. Really, I can observe in my inner state only after this calm morning, really. Yes, and I can direct my attention not only outward to my daughter, how the weather today, and etc. What should we wear? What our deals about transport and etc. Yes, I can see also my my mood, my inner state. Yes, I can observe it, and if something happens, I can calm down, come to balance, because I remember about my state, morning state. Yes, I can remember it. Oh, it was so nice, and I'm just calm down. And tomorrow will be next also morning, and everything will be okay again. Okay, and remembering about meditative states, it's also very important. Third thing, which is very important, it's physical activity. Usually I go out for a walk every day. Yeah, again, about the weather in Russia, long winter, sometimes it's snow, sometimes it's rain, but even with small children, we should go out, and it's really refresh your mind. It's you are, when you're at home, your routine and different things, but when you go out, you just breathe. Yes, and maybe you will see other young mothers, and we can talk with each other, and children can play with each other. Yes, and it's nice way to feel yourself, to feel your body, also to breathe. It's good and very important also. And to do during the day, to do something that you really likes, what inspires you and give you joy. And also about young mothers, yes, we should remember about this point, because sometimes it's just only about your children. But we should remember about what we really likes, what inspires me, yes. And for example, for me, it's to go to museum, for example, to go to bookshop. And this point I can share with my daughter, museums and books also. I can share with her these things. And sometimes I just say her, okay, let's take a break and we will read beautiful book now. And I open for myself really beautiful books for children with beautiful illustrations, with nice stories. And I just we choose very nice story and just read it, and it's very relaxing time and very inspiring stories which we can share with each other. Yes.
You know, Olga, you have really sold motherhood. But can I move on? I have something that's burning to ask Mamata is, Mamata, you talk about the tips, and it's something that came to me, and maybe Nataliya can help me as well, is when you move from one space to another, even when you're in your room, is it because we talk about move when you're so bogged down doing one thing. I teach my kids this one thing, move away from the space, and that is you're changing your levels of consciousness, aren't you? You're going from one, and even those small movements in a small, because some people are confined to a house or a room, may not even be able to go out. Okay, so that's where I'm trying to go as well, because I know we don't have too much time now, but could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Definitely. Well, first, Olga and Nataliya, thank you for both sharing. What I heard a lot of was tips that have helped you, not necessarily just from the article, but just in life in general. And it was nice to hear how you bring that into your own personal experiences. Nataliya, for you, it might be just, life and work. And Olga, as a mom, there's so much that I heard that really resonated. So also congratulations on being pregnant, and good luck. I'm so happy for you. But I just really appreciate both of you sharing all of that. Nataliya, especially from you, I really heard a lot about creating a process and just doing the step-by-step to get to a healthier space. And Olga, what I heard from you was a lot of being able to relate to one another, being able to find other people who might be going through similar things and to share in that experience together. So just really quickly, I wanted to thank both of you for sharing that. Now, Alka, to your perspective and your question, I know that this is such a weird time right now, and going anywhere different or being able to create a new environment for ourselves used to be so simple. And now it's such a challenge. All of us are thinking twice about if we're going to go see friends, if we're going to go to a spot that we've always gone to, should we mask up? Is it okay if we don't? Now there are so many caveats to the way that we lean into the spaces that we've created for ourselves. And I think it kind of goes back to something, Alka, you said at the start of this conversation, which is that these external spaces are so important. Absolutely. As humans, we thrive on being social, connecting with people, getting out of our spaces. But that internal space, that space within, is so important. And I think the beauty of the heartfulness practice, or any meditative practice, whether it's exercising or creating, being an artist, playing music, whatever that is that it grounds you and centers you in yourself, so that no matter what's happening in the external world, you're really able to stay at peace within yourself. And I know how challenging that is. And so as I continue to work on that for myself to really get comfortable in this space of internal, what I try to do for myself from an external perspective, recognizing the challenges of the pandemic and the current state of the world, is to try to mix things up for myself a little bit. If I'm in my room and I'm working so much within my room, I'm going to go downstairs and I'll try to work in my basement, or I'll work outside, or I'll open up a window. I like to do mini 5-minute dance breaks in the middle of my day just to get some blood flowing, get some energy. Sometimes I'll set up a Zoom call with friends to work with them. I'll put them on mute, they'll be on mute, and we'll just sit together and work. And it's like we're all in the same room together. Trying to think of little things to mix stuff up. I mean, sometimes I'll doodle and I'll put Post-its on my wall just to change up the environment around me. Those are the things that I know that I can do, that I can control when there's so much else around me that is uncontrollable. And I'm noticing that the more and more I do those things, the stronger I feel within myself, and the more I'm able to cultivate that self-compassion. So it's kind of a full circle, but I think everything that everyone has shared is so unique to them, but it's also so universal. Everything that all of you have shared really resonates, and I think can be taken into by anybody who's listening to this, and hopefully can help us to form just a toolkit that we can constantly using for ourselves in order to be stronger within ourselves and to really turn that compassion inward.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know, Olga, you mentioned about the weather out there in Russia, similar to UK, probably even up where you are, Mamata, in New York. Yeah, but I'm going to ask Nataliya, before we leave, is there anything you would like to say?
I'm so happy to be with you because, it's so enriching experience when we can really share these approaches to achieve this condition of self-compassion, even when we just can't talk about this, because I think many people there think about self-compassion in terms of weakness or something not well, and it's so good that we have this environment to discuss this. Thank you.
Wow. No, but wow, we haven't even touched that, have we? That is so important, Nataliya. You're absolutely right. There are people out there that see it as a weakness, and it's wow. I'm a bit. I was not expecting that. Thank you for saying that. Oh wow. Olga, is there anything you'd like to add?
I think I said during the session a lot, and it was so nice that I can share with you my thoughts also, and like young mother and etc. It's so nice that you listen to me about these points. Yes, and it's thank you, Mamata, that we have chance really to talk about it. And what say Nataliya at the end, really, it's so important and deep thought. Yes, it was very nice session. Thank you.
So I'm hoping that we'll hear news from you, Olga, and I'm happy to share your news across the globe when it happens. But also, don't stop that whole, like you said, meditation. That's you. That is for you, isn't it? You've learned to do that for yourself. And when I learned to do that for myself, that's when I started to feel the real me. And it was so important that I've carried that throughout the years. And Mamata, you said, how can you even sit with a friend who's going through something if you're not in the right place? And I owe that to people around me. I feel I owe that to people around me. So it's not in a selfish or egoistic manner, but being kind and being that that person to myself, knowing that it's going to help others. So it's not about me, I. It's about looking after myself to help others. I think that's really important. Big message out there. So thank you for saying that, everyone, and Mamata, you know. So I'm going to say, look, guys, the Heartfulness Magazine, always got a copy. It's free. It's out there. It's online. Just get your hands on it. These are the kind of articles. Have a coffee with a friend, discuss it. You can also write to our editor, Mamata. The emails are all there, the connections are all there with help and questions. But can I take this opportunity again and again, thank you, because these talks are so important, and hopefully it will reach to people that really need it as well. So God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.